this episode, I'm gonna give you 10 micro habits that will maximize your chances of having a successful year. Micro habits are like building a house. If you try to build a house without a foundation, no matter how many beautiful materials you use, no matter how much you invest into the interior, if the foundation sucks, the house will not last. This same analogy can be applied to micro habits and how they lay the foundation for your life on which you can then build success and continue to level up in life. Welcome back to Becoming DISScomfortable, a Gen Z podcast dedicated to preparing you to become the best version of yourself. I'm your host Lila, and let's get into it. At number 1, we have exposing yourself to sunlight first thing in the morning. When I say sunlight, what I really mean is natural daylight, because it still matters even if the day is cloudy or gloomy. This is so crucial for you to be able to reset and maintain your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is your body's internal 24-hour clock, which controls your sleep schedule. According to Psychology Today, from an evolutionary standpoint, humans have developed variation in our circadian rhythms for survival and reproduction purposes. So for example, the highest risk of predators is when the village sleeps, which gave some people a valid reason for being night owls. If you're a night owl, meaning your body secretes melatonin much later in the day than early birds, and you're naturally going to be more alert and energetic at night, you're probably going to feel frustrated when you try to conform to socially constructed timelines, such as having to wake up for school and work. Or if you're just struggling with your sleep schedule, your circadian rhythm is affected by light and dark. So if you want to reset your rhythm to feel more energized in the mornings and be more productive in general, American neuroscientist and sleep expert Dr. Gina Poe says to try to expose yourself to natural sunlight or daylight first thing in the morning, and to also avoid using devices and bright lights right before you go to bed. So I literally just started going on a quick little walk in my night suit, or even just standing outside for a couple minutes. This doctor said that even 2 minutes of you standing outside is enough to signal to your brain that this is the time that you want to wake up naturally, which is so cool, and I wish I'd known that sooner. Your sleep is the foundation for everything good in your life. If you don't get enough sleep at the right times, you literally don't give your body the chance to heal. I'm gonna link the podcast that I learned this from in the description so you guys can learn this too, because this episode changed my life. I thought I knew enough about how sleep works, but I was truly humbled by this episode. Number 2, forget to-do lists. You want to write 3 things max that you want to focus on for the rest of your day. This is kind of like setting your intention, but it can also be a to-do list kind of intertwined together, because the most powerful way for you to actually get something done is by intending, like truly intending to do it. When I make a list of 20 things, I maybe get like 3 of them done, and then that makes me feel so unaccomplished and unmotivated for the rest of the day. I feel, oh my goodness, I wrote all this stuff down and I didn't get any of it done. Sometimes when you're writing things, you don't realize how much time they're actually gonna take. So instead of doing that, when you focus on 3 key areas, on 3 key intentions, whatever you want to call them, for your day, you are so much more likely, like you just increase your chances of getting that stuff done. It doesn't have to be 3 to-do tasks. Your 3 intentions could be, I need to get movement in my day today. No matter what happens, no matter how much work I have to do, I have to step outside for 10, 15, 20 minutes just so I can give my brain that mental break that I need. Focusing on 3 key areas is going to increase your chances substantially of actually getting those things done, and then building evidence of the fact that, hey, when I write something down or when I say I'm going to do something, I actually do it. This will build your confidence up so much. When you say you're going to do something and then you actually go and do that, and you do that again and again and again, that shows you, especially when you're not feeling productive, when you're at your lowest points, it shows you that you were capable of doing that. It builds evidence of the fact that you've done it before and that you can of course do it again. It's like basically like a self-motivation booster. So anything you do, every time you get these tasks done, it might not seem like you did a lot, but the fact that you did something that you said you were going to do, you wrote it down in the morning and you had it done by the end of the day, that is so incredible. It stops being about the quantity quantity, like about how many tasks you got done, and rather the fact that you just got it done. You actually did that thing, you actually focused on it. Like that is so empowering, so motivating. That increases your confidence so much. Habit number 3 is actually backed up by science, and I'm gonna tell you why. It is to lay your outfit out the night before. This could be your school or work outfit, your gym outfit, depending on what you do for your morning routine, right? Now, the reason for this is so important, so hear me out. I was watching an event and the speaker said something so interesting. She said that making decisions drains our brain's power. This is also confirmed by research I found online. The National Institute of Health says that since cognitive capacity is limited, making choices may thus lead to decision fatigue, and that no matter how smart or diligent we are, our ability to make good decisions eventually runs out. This could be the reason why you might be feeling drained sometimes or not have the energy to do certain things. So the idea is to stock up on energy for the most important decisions that you're gonna make during your day. If you lay out your outfit the night before, that's one less decision you have to make in the morning, which will then let you conserve your energy for the things that matter. Once I started thinking about it that way, like it got so much easier for me to just plan and do everything else. And that ties into number 4, which is to plan out your day the night before. You don't need to timestamp like literally everything in your day. That could actually harm you if that's like more like toxic productivity. If you don't even give yourself the chance to breathe, you're eventually gonna burn out. It's more like dividing it by a general area. So you can ask yourself, okay, what am I doing in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night? Just simply divide your day up into these 4 quadrants and you'll already have a really good idea of what you want to do in the morning. And again, that's going to allow you to leave more brain juice for the decisions that matter the most to you. I have a friend who tells me that she doesn't like planning her day out because it actually gives her a lot of anxiety, and I totally get that. She tells me that she's much more of a spontaneous person and she likes to be able to do things without knowing about them in advance, and that's totally normal too. Like I said, you don't have to plan every little thing out, but this is specifically if you want to be more productive, if you want to get certain things done that you've been laying off in your day, then it's important for you to keep those in mind. If you're like her, something you could do in that situation is instead of dividing your entire day up into quadrants, you could just get all your work done in the morning and have the rest of the day for fun to go and explore and do whatever you want, basically. Number 5 is regular brain dumps. The idea is to spill everything that's on your mind. So I'll give you an example. Right now, my work is pretty creative, which means that ideas come to me very randomly, very spontaneously. I never am able to predict that. Because I can't predict it, what I started doing is as soon as I get an idea, I just jot it down in my notes app. No fancy notebook, no aesthetic Notion template. It's called a brain dump for a reason. It's just relieving your brain of that constant stress of like having so many thoughts jumbled within your head. I talked about this in my How to Stop Being Insecure video, which you can check out. Basically, the speed of our thoughts is rapid. Like it is so fast that when you take the time to write things down, even if you write or type super fast, it's still going to be slower than how fast your thoughts are going. You can think of it as a brain dump to make space for things that are more important. Micro habit number 6 is decluttering. I used to get in trouble a lot as a kid for having a really messy room. It got to the point where it was so bad that I couldn't even sleep in my room at night because there were always too many things and clothes on my bed, and it was gross. It was not an ideal situation to be in whatsoever. What changed my life and helped me get out of that phase was decluttering little things immediately instead of waiting for like a monthly cleanup day. So putting my jacket away in the closet as soon as I get home, putting my books in my shelves as soon as I'm done reading instead of piling them up. Look around your living space and ask yourself like, okay, what is there something that I could be doing at least a little bit better, that I could be keeping at least a little bit cleaner? Decluttering your space allows you to declutter your mind, and it allows you to create space for the things that actually matter to you. When you look at your room and things are in place, they don't have to be perfect or neat, not out in the open everywhere, you're gonna be able to focus so much better. You won't have as many things distracting you, and you can now get to work. Micro habit number 7 is basic maintenance, because when we look good, we feel good. This extends to beauty, self-care, and hygiene. So things like shaving regularly in places like your armpits, for example, on a weekly basis can allow you to keep yourself clean consistently, right? No bad odors, or you're gonna feel less pain. It's gonna be a lot quicker if you're doing it consistently rather than waiting too long, you know? And then any other beauty maintenance that you know for a fact impacts your mood, impacts the way that you live your life. So for me, getting my eyebrows done and not looking like a man is absolutely crucial, and also curling my lashes on a daily basis. Those are things that I know I can easily maintain. Other basic things I do is like putting a lip mask on and moisturizing daily so my hands don't get dry. You don't have to be getting your nails done or lashes, extensions consistently unless you want to. Like if that's you, if that's your lifestyle, then go for it. But the point of basic maintenance is things that you can easily upkeep without it like draining your energy. You do all of these things to make yourself feel more energized, not to drain yourself consistently, right? So it's just finding that balance between how long it takes for you to do and how much effort it requires and how happy it makes you. Hi guys, editing me. I just released a video where I tried 10 healthy habits for an entire week to see if it would actually change my life on my main YouTube channel called VIVACIOUSLYLA. I documented the entire journey as honestly as I could, so if you want to see how I actually practice what I preach, how I apply all these tips and advice to my life in real time, you can check out the main channel in my description. Now, let's get back to the episode. Micro habit number 8 is very similar to number 7, but financially. So checking how many subscriptions do you currently have going. I was watching a video from a tech YouTuber and he showed his candid reaction to realizing just how much money he was spending on subscriptions every single month. He found out that both his work and personal subscriptions altogether were costing him $1,200 a month going out of his bank account just to recurring subscriptions. And he also revealed how he'd forgotten about some of them. Like he'd played a game once and then he forgot to cancel the subscription, and then 6 months later they were still charging his account. And let me tell you, I've done the same thing where I signed up for subscriptions and then forgot about them, and they continue to drain my bank account until I finally realized what was going on. It is not a fun experience to have, so just make sure that you do not fall victim to that. Make sure that any subscriptions that you're signed up for are really worth your money at the end of the day. This is like a monthly checkup for your finances, just making sure that you know where your money is coming from and where it's going. Do you feel like you need to cut back on something, or the opposite? Do you feel like there is something that you're missing in your life that you should be investing in right now? So for example, I realized that I'd been putting off this one self-education service for months and months and months because I was just too scared to take the plunge. It's a subscription-based service, and so I was like, I don't want to sign up for another subscription. I already have way too many of those. But then as I reflected back on that, I realized that I was actually missing out on more. I realized that there was so much knowledge and information that I was missing out on that was actually worth the money. So it's just about finding the balance for your flow of money. Number 9 is to build evidence of gratitude in parts of your day that you would otherwise be unaware of. If I were you, I would literally create a section in my notes app titled things I'm grateful for, or things that worked out for me today. And I just jot down anytime I felt even a smidge of gratitude for something, just to remind myself that it actually happened. Because right now we're living in an era where we have more distractions than ever. We are more overwhelmed than ever before. We are constantly like, sometimes it doesn't even feel like we're living in reality. Sometimes you kind of feel detached from reality because there are so many things going on around you, online, offline. It's a lot for us to handle. It's a lot for our brains to take in. If you don't write it down, you might not even remember that it happened. It could be the smallest things. It could be things like you got home safely from work. Something so simple and yet so underrated, you know? Or that you went to the gym and people were kind to you. They were uplifting, motivating. Somebody helped you with something. Just writing that experience down so that when you're in your lowest moments, you have evidence of the fact that you were still able to see the good and beauty in days even when you were not at your best. Also, the fact that this is backed up by science. Science says that gratitude, feeling gratitude actually makes you happier, and that I believe that there are 3 types of happiness, and one of them stems from gratitude and the ability to feel grateful for things, which is yet another reason for you to be doing this now. And number 10, your posture. I literally feel more confident when my posture is not slouching and sulking. Like, forget about appearing confident to others. I want to feel confident every single day. And I mentioned this in the How to Build Everlasting Confidence episode. Your inner confidence is directly tied to your external, to the way that you carry yourself, present yourself, dress, the way that you look as well. Yes, it sounds shallow, but it's so true. When I stopped going to the gym for a couple months and I stopped doing that exercise that was helping me get my posture back up, I'll put it on the screen if you're watching the video episode. I think they're called lat pull-ups. And so when I stopped doing that, my posture started slouching a lot more. I started actually feeling pain in my back. Also, my confidence just suffered. And all of a sudden I was like struggling to be able to keep my posture up in public spaces. So my point is that it's something you have to do every single day. Like, you can, perfect your posture for a couple of months and it can still go down. Unfortunately, when you're constantly bending to look at your phone or looking at a computer screen at the wrong angle, like if you think about it, a lot of the things we do on a daily basis are designed to make our posture worse. So if you want it to not be that way, you have to actively try to fix your posture by yourself. That is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video or learned something from it, please let me know. If you have any ideas for new episodes, please let me know that as well. And I will see you in the next episode.